Hey, good morning, everyone. From the wall, it is Thursday, the 9th of July, 2020. Another beautiful day. Got to get right into this. Tell you what, I'm going to tie all my videos together, all 200-some videos in this next series that I'm going to be introducing you to. We'll call this Part 2. And it's all going to make sense. Bill Gates, the vaccines, the Murrays, the Masons, the Jesuits. What's happening to America currently? What's happening to the people in America currently? Where it's all headed? The strong delusion. Talked about it. I'm going to bear that out. An old saying, when you approach the Bible, people, and I've been at this for 30 plus years, you have to start out on the milk before you mature to the meat of the subject matter. Another little side saying about once a man, twice an infant. You know, you start out babbling, drooling, and stooling, and you end up babbling, drooling, and stooling. At 65, I'm getting to really appreciate that expression. But let's get back to the subject matter at hand. We're talking about the world's best-selling book, least read book, the Holy Bible. Yeah, it's not what you think it says, people. You know, they've had their World Council of Churches, or National Council of Churches. I don't think there's a dime's worth of difference between the Protestants and the Catholics. They are masters at deceivers. If you've got a 501(c) tax-exempt status, you are part of the problem. And you're not going to learn. All right. Now, I'm no Sunday school teacher, I'm no preacher, and I'm no biblical scholar. I got that. But you know what? With today's internet, you don't have to be. Yeah, I got it. There's no J's in ancient Hebrew. There's no J's in Greek, and there's no J's in come on, I always have it. Aramaic. 3 different languages. But I speak English. With Bible tools, you can learn the ancient Greek, the ancient Hebrew, and the Aramaic languages. Yeah, and you can translate them into the proper translations. All kinds of tools that are at your disposal. Bible Hub, Blue Bible, you got it. All right. You know, there's a cute saying people like to use against people like me and say, oh yeah, well they've been lying in Greek and Hebrew longer than they've been lying in English. So what? The point is, they're still lying to us in English. Get it? Get over it. And notice I did not say modern Hebrew, because modern Hebrew is the language of the Pharisees. It is Yiddish, not ancient Hebrew. Okay, moving on. Let's first go. Now, this is not going to be painful, people. This should be kind of exciting. And I'm going to leave you a hell of a link. And we're going to talk about those 3 pictures up there. Okay, let's go to... Okay, this is working great. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 in the King James Version. Lots of versions of this King James. Lots of revisions since the 1611. And we're talking about, in the beginning, you know, God created the heaven and the earth. We were talking about in an earlier video, Genesis 1:7, and God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Right off the bat, people, drop the extraterrestrial bullshit. There's no ETs. Now, if you want to talk extra-dimensional entities, things that go bump in the night, things that Paul talks about, we're going to be getting here too real quick. Yeah, I'll go there. ETs, ET phone home, pure parasitical fantasy. All right, now here's what I want to get to. Okay, you got to be patient with me. Okay, just another point. Genesis 1:16. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. The lesser light, people, the moon, it's a light source, probably plasma radiation for all I know. You put a man on the moon, give me a break. Don't be Bert, be a space alert. Yeah, NASA fanboys and assholes, give me a break. All right, but that's not what I want it to come down to. We want to get down to the 6th day. And here we go, Genesis 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Okay, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Now we'll just briefly shoot over to Genesis 2. Yeah, Genesis 2:2, on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made. All right, stick with me, people. This isn't rocket science. No, I think they use rockets to make clouds. Okay, Genesis 2:7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So Genesis 2:7. Well, what happened to Genesis 1? Didn't he make man in his image, male and female he made them? We're not going to get into this part now, but it's going to be very important. There seems to be a contradiction, people. Believe me, there is not. And just as a fun little side note, you can go to these Bible tools I'm using right now, BibleGateway.com, and you can do a word search. How many times does a particular word show up in a particular version of a particular Bible? So for shits and giggles, you can check this yourself. Go to Bible Gateway, pick up your favorite version. I'm using King James right here. Type in man, M-A-N, 3,323 hits. 3,323 times it's used in Scripture. Now type in human, H-U-M-A-N, as 0. You think men and humans are synonyms? Really? Well, I tell you what, if the masters that rule this plantation have their way, we most certainly will be. Getting a little distracted here, so let's get back to the gist of it. Paul tells us in Ephesians 6 that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Okay, what can we glean from that? He does tell you what we wrestle against: powers, principalities, rulers of darkness. Yeah, but he says you're not wrestling against flesh and blood. So we can glean, number one, we're wrestling. We're wrestling something. People, I think they got us in a figure 4 leg lock because we're getting our butt handed to us. And it's not flesh and blood that we're wrestling with. Well, Dave, you're always talking about the Murrays and the Masons and the Jesuits. Human instrumentalities, people. Nothing more than that. And we will get to that at some point in this series. All right, let's go over here now. We're going to tie in all these pictures. Oh, geez. Got to learn how to spell before you can use this thing. Okay. Let me give you a little, before we get too deep into this, and I know time's going to be a bitch for me. I know that. I got that. Two of the biggest complaints I hear about the Bible, especially from the atheists. Number one, it's a book of fairy tales, especially the Old Testament. I mean, come on. Centaurs, satyrs, unicorns. I mean, a horse with a horn hanging out of its nose. Give me a break. Hey, you ever seen a picture of a rhinoceros? What's that thing sticking out of his snoot? Sure looks like a horn to me. And all you ranchers out there, don't you have to dehorn your critters all the time? Yeah, I mean, so they're going left, right on the side of the head. This one's coming out the middle. You got a problem with that as a fairy tale? Wait till we get to those pictures, people. Okay, this is the big one, and I'm moving along quick, and I'm trying to keep it simple, but we got to move this along. Genesis 6, verse 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, 2, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, all of which they chose. You know, it's the old saying, a mousetrap doesn't wrap their mouse, but it catches them just the same. So who are these sons of God that came down to Mount Hermon? 200 of them came down and started breeding the daughters of men. Well, now your 501(c) Catholic and Protestant preachers will tell you, oh, those were the sons of Seth. Give me an effing break. The sons of Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve, brother to Cain and Abel. So you've got the modern-day rednecks go to family reunions to pick up chicks, and they had a little bit too much to drink, and one thing led to another, and then next thing you know, she's giving birth to something that grows up to 16 feet tall. Where are you coming up with that? Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. The giants, people, the Nephilim. Why am I mentioning this here? Because the second objection most people have to the Bible is, how could you possibly, in good faith, worship such a brutal, racist, murderous God? Careful, people. The creation is judging the creator. The clay pot in the hands of the creator, the clay pot maker, is judging the clay pot maker. The maker who could easily take that pot and smash it to the floor. Yeah, that takes balls, people. Let me tell you something about why this so-called murderous creator was so murderous. I just read it to you. The sons of God, fallen angels, 200 of them, the watchers, were down there blanking the daughters of men, and in the process were producing a race of hybrid giants, part human and part Nephilim, son of God. Not that the sons of God are the Nephilim, the byproducts are the Nephilim. Does that make any sense to you? In Numbers 13:33, wasn't it Caleb and Joshua that reported on the land? And they said, hey, I'll tell you what, these guys are big. They are huge. In our sight, we are like grasshoppers. Bugs. Yeah. Look at these pictures, people. Remember the fairy tale you think of, David versus Goliath? Some of you Sunday school teachers out there, you remember that one? Yeah, Goliath was a race of giants. They were hybrids. God said, shouldn't be. And you know what? These sons of men, or sons of God, did not just mess with mankind. They messed with animal kind. We will get into the chimeras some later point in a different video. So, you don't buy any of this, huh? Alright, let's look at them pictures. So we got the first one, sons of God, doing a little blinking with the fair daughters of men. And the second one, you've got your typical tot evolutionary chart. Yep, primate, knuckle dragon, up to upright man. Well, I'll tell you what, that might be how soul and rhythm and blues got its start. But that's not how mankind got its start. Mankind, like technology, instantaneous. When them watchers came down, they weren't stupid. These were the sons of God. And they imparted great wisdom to these mankind. See all them buildings? See that advanced architecture? You see those pyramids? Who do you think built them? You don't think a giant can come along? Let's look at that third picture. You don't think one of them 32-foot dudes couldn't come along, pick up a rock, and stack it for you? Okay, it had to be brief. We're already at the 12-minute and 40-second. There's so much more I could put in there, but I want you to just start thinking about it. And, hey, tell you what. There are certain books that are in the Bible. There are certain books that were taken out of the Bible, so we couldn't get them. Now, who made that decision? Who made that call back in 325, 340 BC, or AD? Who in the Council of Nicaea said, oh, this is a good book, keep those out? Why are they hiding this stuff? 3 books that are mentioned in the Bible. Enoch, Jasher, Jubilees. Why can't I see those books? Well, people, you can. And it'll flesh in more detail to what really happened with the Genesis 6 giants. When the sons of God mentioned in Job, not all of them. These were a rebellious lot. Enoch will tell you all about them. He'll tell you by name and what they imparted to mankind. Think abortion is a thing of the 70s, 1970s? Think again, people. We're going to come full circle. Now, I mentioned human. Give you a little hint. Wink, wink. Transhuman. Transhumanism. They say Jesus Christ came to save man. But did Jesus Christ come to save human? Not trying to beat a dead horse here, people. Fact is, they've been hiding shit from us. They've been hiding books. The Smithsonian Institution has been hiding stuff from us. And it pisses me off. They keep us in the dark. Treat us like mushrooms. Feed us bullshit. And we believe it. So there you go. There's your evolutionary chart. You believe in? Or why don't you try believing the Bible? No, I didn't interpret it for you. I didn't tell you what it said. I think it said. I told you what it said. Don't buy that Sons of Seth argument. It's pure nonsense. I ain't buying it. Alright, so we're going to carry this on. It's tough to do this justice in such a short period of time. It's probably one of my longest videos and it's run too long so far. Anyway, people, I got stuff to do. Stand by for the next video. We will call it part 3. You guys, in the meantime, enjoy the weather.